doing lot of initiatives with the help of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. हमने ट्रेनिंग मॉड्यूल्स बनाए, हमने फेलोशिप प्रोग्राम कर रहे हैं ताकि यंगस्टर्स को ले आएं. सार का प्रोग्राम के बारे में सुबह सेक्रेटरी साहब ने बोला और जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी साहब ने बोला, which is bringing young people to the understanding climate action. तो ये सब हो रहा है और हर आदमी, आई थिंक क्लाइमेट, आज हम सबको सोचना है कि क्लाइमेट के साथ हम इस धर्म युद्ध में हमारी आहुति क्या होगी, और हर आदमी को अपनी आहुति उस धर्म युद्ध में खुद ढूंढनी पड़ेगी. मैं आपकी आहुति नहीं दे सकता, मैं उस आहुति का वो जो सामग्री है वो सामग्री हम बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. बट वी ऑल हैव टू इम्बाइब दैट एक्शन. बट मैं इसमें yesterday I was talking to Indore commissioner who has talked about credit faction, and it's a time on action. You know, हर आदमी को सोचता है कि क्लाइमेट एक्शन, पर एज अ प्रैक्टिशनर, एज अ कमिश्नर, मुझे ये बताओ, मुझे पेड़ लगाना है, मुझे गड्ढा खोदना है, मुझे नाली बनानी है, मुझे करना क्या है? Unless we come back to that language, which is as simplified, give it very clear direction. How do I think we will all talk about a good English of climate action, climate adaptation, kind of mitigation, but doesn't mean anything for us. So my the whole session, the purpose is to listen from the practitioners, जिन्होंने वो काम किया, उन्होंने उसको करवाया, and see those actions and see how they can be contextualized in our own context. क्योंकि सिंगापुर ने किया और वो सोचे मैं आज सिंगापुर बन जाऊंगा, वो होगा नहीं. So how do we really start putting that together? And that is a challenge we all have to face coming day if we want to give a better planet to our next generation. So I welcome all the participants again for this climate discussion, and I also welcome all the panelists who will be actually talking about the actions which they have taken on the ground. So with that, thank you very much. Over to you, Mahesh.
Thank you, sir. As we were talking about it, it's important that climate is not something which is taken up by city governments. It's also taken up by people at large. In light of it, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, in association with National Institute of Urban Affairs, we organized the Climate Awareness Month in the month of January and February. And as a part of it, we also organized a national photography competition. So we would like to welcome the winners of the national photography competition, Mr. Joydeep Mukherjee. The photograph presented over there is of a mother and child in a flood-prone area. We would like to invite the winner, Mr. Ekansh Goel. So this is a photograph of waste processing, especially the electronic waste. Thank you, sir. So just before we start the event, I think it's an amazing occasion where we all got to meet each other, after a long COVID time. But in spite of the COVID, the Climate Smart Cities was launched in 2020, by our Honorable Minister, Mr. Hardeep Puri. So I would first like to thank all the city engineers, all the city officials, all the nodal officers, all the commissioners who, in spite of working for the COVID, they also managed to fill the assessment. So a big round of applause for all of you who have been part of the assessment. Thank you very much. As we are moving forward, it's very important for us to note that what cities are doing. Today we have a lot of sessions where cities are being linked with financial institutions. Cities are being linked with donors. But many a times, it's not important for city getting only the finances. What we look in terms of the Climate Smart City assessment is 5 stages of development. The initial stage is city realizing that they need to do something about the climate. I think all of you present here is the evidence that there is a larger importance given to climate both by the ministry and also by the city officials. The second stage of development which we are focusing cities to do is collaborate, to associate, and also to start collecting data and information. I mean, today morning, even the Joint Secretary did present the importance of data. The ministry is also planning to open up the data for public at large. I think the cities need to make use of this opportunity to interact with other stakeholders in their cities, form committees. The third stage is the planning and strategizing. I think without a plan and a strategy, because climate is not a sprint, it's going to be a marathon. We are going to run the race for the next 50 years, next 70 years. Irrespective of what we do today, the change needs to be sustainable. So having a strategy, having a plan is the third stage. The fourth stage is the finance. I think many of the cities are currently saying that we don't have money. But when you have the strategy, when you have the plan, getting the money is the most easiest thing. There are a lot of donors around today. There are a lot of multilaterals. There are a lot of development banks. There are PPP models which are being presented over here. So finance is not the critical thing. But if you don't have the first three things, even if you get the finance, you will not know what to do. And then finally, the fifth stage is showing impact, which are sustainable. So in this light, I think cities have managed to do that. What you're seeing over here is what cities managed to achieve in spite of COVID, in spite of struggling during 2020. Many of the cities which were in the level 1, 66 cities were in level 1 in 2019 before the COVID took place. They managed to move to level 2. That means they have started thinking about data. Only 4 cities were in level 3. Now 22 cities are in level 3. That means more cities are started to plan. More cities are started to strategize. Of course, we also have few top performing cities. But if you look at the 5th star, it's empty. All our cities need to go a long way. And therefore, we also managed to do a larger awareness and communication. Once again, thanks to the cities which have managed to be part of the climate awareness campaigns. More than 2.5 lakh individuals were engaged in different processes. These were all done by the city officials. And during this, more than 34 online and offline sessions were organized. And many people also participated in media campaigns to create awareness. And much of it, what you see over here, were all done during the month of January and February this year. Once again, when the third phase of COVID or the third peak of COVID was taking place. So moving forward, what we see is that we can't do this alone. We also would like to thank more than 68 partners who have supported cities, supported NIUA, and also supported ministry in this initiative. Moving forward, we want to increase the partners, but we also want to increase the number of cities which are taking part in it. In that, I would like to just play a video where more than 7 mayors, international mayors, and also Indian mayors have sent across message to all of you for today's event. Can we...
Namaste Surat, Namaste India, Kamcho, and warm greetings to ministers, heads of state, city officials, dignitaries, and fellow mayors. I'm Sylvester Turner, Mayor of Houston and Chair of the Global Resilient Cities Network Board. I am pleased to be here with you today to discuss the critical topic on advancing smart cities towards climate resilience and sustainability. Hurricane Harvey in 2017 was a defining moment for Houston on climate change. It reset the clock. It pushed our ambitions and with them our actions. Let there be no doubt, climate change is real and pressing. In February 2020, I released the Resilient Houston Strategy, a framework for a more resilient Houston, focusing on health, education, climate, equity, the built environment, and the economy. In 2020, we also released our Climate Action Plan. We had the pleasure of working with the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and National Institute of Urban Affairs To establish India's Urban Resilience Unit in 2018, we have been working on smart city initiatives for a long time. This includes the smart grid and smart water meters and the rollout of one of the nation's first air quality monitoring networks.
Hi, it's Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. While we can't be together in person today, I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak with you all virtually. Here in Boston, the effects of climate change are a part of everyday life. As a coastal city, we are already experiencing the impacts of climate change. From extreme heat and more intense storms to flooding and sea level rise, climate change is here, and it's impacting our most vulnerable and historically disinvested communities. Climate action is about our here and now, and it's also about building a more sustainable, equitable, and resilient future for our children and their children. That's why in Boston, we're forging a path to lead the nation in climate action and become a Green New Deal city. We've divested city funds from the fossil fuel industry, expanded a fare-free bus program to serve our neighborhoods, and taken steps to reduce vehicle emissions and promote electrification. We've encouraged residents to enroll in greener electricity options through our municipal aggregation program. And we're developing a youth green jobs initiative to prepare our youngest charges for the jobs of the future.
Hello, India. Hello, Surat. Greetings from Ickley in the city of Des Moines, Iowa, USA. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to this event to deliberate upon the role of smart cities and smart urbanization in mitigating climate impacts. I would like to congratulate the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, the Government of India, and the National Institute of Urban Affairs for organizing such a relevant event. I firmly believe that implementing solutions at local levels are key to the global climate crisis. What happens in Indian cities in this decade will guide the course of global climate action as well. Cities today are at a crossroad. They need guidance and support from the national government, technical agencies, as well as financial institutions. Therefore, one of the key takeaways to facilitate climate action at local level is through dialogue and peer learning, such as this event. As president of Ickley, I urge all of you to use your powerful voices and actions to work towards making local and regional governments a strong contributor to climate action.
नमस्कार। आज सूरत में हो रही स्मार्ट अर्बनाइजेशन प्रोग्राम में शामिल हुए आप सभी का मैं हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं। पुणे शहर एक ऐसा शहर है जहां अनेक विशेषताएं इस शहर से जुड़ी हुई है। 518 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर इतना बड़ा क्षेत्र आज पुणे का बन चुका है और उसमें से 35% क्षेत्र ये हरित क्षेत्र है और हमने ये तय किया कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ये क्षेत्र ऐसा ही बना रहे। तो इसके लिए जैव विविधता पार्क बनाने का हमने सोचा, इसके लिए बड़ा क्षेत्र हमने आज आरक्षित भी किया है। आज पुणे में जो हमारी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट की बसेस है उसमें से एक भी डीजल की बस अभी हमारे यहाँ पे नहीं चलती है। पूरी की पूरी हमारे यहाँ पे बसेस अब जो चलती है वो सीएनजी और इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस यहाँ पे चलती है। तो हमने पोल्यूशन का ध्यान रखते हुए यहाँ पे आगे का सोचने का जो हमने प्रयास किया, तो उसके तहत आज पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट भी बहुत अच्छी तरह से यहाँ पे चल रही है। सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट में भी आज हम बहुत अच्छी तरह से काम कर रहे हैं। पुणे एक ऐसा शहर है जहाँ पे हर रोज तकरीबन 2200 या 2300 मीट्रिक टन कचरा यहाँ पे आज जनरेट होता है, लेकिन हमारी ये उपलब्धि आज है कि इसमें से 1 किलो कचरा भी आज डंप नहीं होता। पूरे का पूरे कचरे पे हम आज यहाँ पे प्रोसीजर कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे प्रक्रिया बनना यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं। हर एक क्षेत्र में बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि हमने अभी प्राप्त की है। बहुत बड़े बड़े प्रोजेक्ट लाने में हम सफल हुए, वो आज इम्प्लीमेंट करने में भी हमें आज यहाँ पे सफलता मिली है। मुझे लगता है, मुझे ये उम्मीद है कि ये पुणे शहर का विकास कामों का जो परिवर्तन है ये देश के अन्य शहरों के लिए प्रेरणा देने का काम करेगा। धन्यवाद।
Hello India, hello Surat. My name is Bettina Liesbach. In my capacity as Deputy Mayor, I'm in charge of environment and health issues in Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe is one of Germany's hottest cities. Therefore, climate change is of utmost importance to us. In our 2030 Climate Protection Plan, we have fixed ambitious measures to reduce our CO2 emissions. This includes the installation of photovoltaic systems on rooftops or the promotion of cycling, bus and tram traffic. Our climate strategy is based on the broad participation of the citizens and the private sector. We can only succeed if the entire urban society joins in. I'm pleased if our climate strategy can serve as a model for other cities and if we can learn from other municipalities at the same time.
Hi everyone, my name is Katrin Stjernfeldt-Jamme and I'm the mayor of Malmö in Sweden. I'm also the first vice president of ICLEI, a global network of more than 2,500 local and regional governments committed to sustainable urban development. I believe that everybody present here today recognizes the impact of climate change are serious, urgent, and growing. No nation, whether it's a large or a small, wealthy or poor, can escape from impact of climate change. Globally, cities are growing fast, and together we must ensure growth in a way that is inclusive and sustainable. Malmö, which was an early industrial city, has reinvented itself as a modern global city with sustainable urban development as an engine for change.
My name is Gunter Zisch. In my position as Lord Mayor of the city of Ulm in Germany, I would like to send warm regards to the participants of the exchange event on the topic Smart Cities, Smart Urbanization. Thanks to the Indian Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and its German counterpart for inviting the city of Ulm to share some practical examples based on the Leuven technology sensors were installed to gather real-time climate data at different spots in a pilot district. The measurement data were fed via interface into the Ulm data platform to be then evaluated and shared with citizens. In the long term, this knowledge can be used to better understand correlations on climate data and air quality locally and optimize urban planning in its sustainable way.
Hello India, this is Mohamed Ridwani speaking. I'm the mayor of the city of Leuven in Belgium. The Leuven community is a big friend of India as we have many collaborations running with New Delhi, with Gwalior, in Mumbai and at many other places in your beautiful country. The big program we have is called Leuven 2030, which is a governance model where the city collaborates intensely and systematically with our university, with our citizens, with our entrepreneurs and the bright people we have in Leuven. And as the basis of it, we have a roadmap which looks towards 2030, of course, and beyond, to make sure that Leuven becomes one of the first carbon-free cities in Europe. And within that framework, there is so many things that are happening in terms of greening of our mobility, electrifying of the vehicles, investment in renewable energy, retrofitting of our buildings, greening of the city, waste management, water management, and a lot of other things that make sure that, in fact, we do away with CO2 emissions. So thank you all. I hope to visit India soon again and to make sure that we can collaborate across our continents. Thank you.
So now, after hearing from the mayors and the leaders around the world, it's also important to hear the voices from India. So for inviting the leaders from the Indian cities, I invite Vaishnavi to take over.
Thank you, Mahesh. I would like to invite Hemali ma'am, Mayor of Surat Municipal Corporation, to the dais. Bhagya Lakshmi ma'am, Mayor of Vijayawada City. Mr. Swapnil Dinakar, Commissioner for Vijayawada Smart City. Dr. Sanjay Kolte from Pune Smart City, CEO. We have Dr. Lakshmi Shah as well from Vishakhapatnam Municipal Corporation. And Ms. Aditi Garg, who's the ex-CEO of Indore Smart City. So I think this is a very exciting panel because we just heard snippets from across the globe, and now we have the opportunity to hear from the dignitaries here from each of the cities as to what they're doing. So the idea also is to understand how they're mainstreaming climate actions in the ongoing urban development as well, because as Director mentioned earlier in the session, so it's a challenge to understand what is it that we need to do and how is it that we need to do. So I have two questions to all of the panels. So we could just take turns for maybe 2 to 3 minutes and address each of the question. The first question is if you could highlight the climate actions taken in your city, and most importantly, if you could highlight the learnings by implementing that action that will be helpful for other cities to learn from. So would you like to go first?
Good afternoon to all. Pune Smart City, as our ex-mayor has already presented the major initiative which are climate friendly just now. In Pune Smart City plan, we had several initiatives which were climate friendly and aimed towards reducing the carbon footprints. I'll mention some of the major initiatives which we have taken. That is the Smart E-Bus project, which we have implemented. In the first phase, 150 e-buses were procured in the city in collaboration between Pune Smart City and PMPML. It's a transport corporation of the city. And due to these 150 e-buses, which were made to run only on the routes where the TCO2% was very high, the significant results were immediately visible by way of reduction of TCO2 from 7% to 4%. Due to this initiative, and we are happy to mention that another 100 buses have recently been added to the fleet, and PMPML is also procuring further 300 buses. So major chunk of buses in the city soon will be the e-buses. So that is a very happy thing and very climate friendly step for the city. Secondly, the major project was Smart Street LED lighting, which we have implemented with the help of Tata Projects. It has been implemented on PPP mode for a period of 12 years. We are into the 4th year now. And energy saving of almost 60% has been achieved by way of this smart LED lighting project. More than 95,000 lights of the city have been replaced by this. And carbon footprint benefit is again 6% reduction of carbon footprint has been achieved by smart LED lighting project. Promotion of non-motorized transport is another step which we are taking in our road redesign model. More than 40 kilometers of cycle tracks are being created by Smart City. Wherever dedicated cycle track space is not available there on the carriageway, the painting, road painting is being done. And soon, in collaboration with the Pune Cycle Plan, we hope to give impetus to cycling in the city. Zero waste management project again aims at 100% disposal of organic waste in the societies on site. Municipal solid waste management is also being the efficiency of the system is being increased by way of modern devices by using GPS technology for the vehicles, the smart watches for the solid waste management staff. So thereby most of the disposal and recycling is being ensured by way of this. Riverfront development is also being launched, and thereby the rivers which are almost more than 40 kilometers of stretches of rivers in the city will be developed by way of SPV which has been created for the city. Pune Municipal Corporation in its policies has also implemented incentives for green buildings in the city. The incentive FSI from 3 to 7% is being given to the projects which have obtained ratings from the IGBC, like gold and platinum ratings from the IGBC. Low emission green corridor will be implemented with the help of funds from GF7, and soon this exercise we will be starting with the help of WRI. Solar rooftops, e-rickshaws, these are some of the projects which we have implemented on pilot scale, and in near future will be our effort will be to taking them ahead. So these are the major climate initiatives which we have implemented in the city. Besides this, plantation has been our focus. Plantation on the roadside, on our placemaking sites. We have taken up on a large scale more than 20,000 trees and shrubberies will be planted by Smart City with the help of some NGOs. Again, adoption of these saplings and plants for nurturing them is also has also been taken up. The mapping of all the biodiversity in the city with the help of Pune Knowledge Cluster will be mapping the trees, and data platform, online platform has also been created for this. Carbon sequestration is another step for which PKC and Smart City are working together. So these are some of the initiatives which have been taken in Pune City.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. G. Lakshmisha, CEO, Smart City, Visakhapatnam. First of all, thank you for this opportunity, and thanks to the Conclave. I'm very happy to be part of it. So Visakhapatnam, you know, is the city of destiny. So the jewel city of East Coast, one of the most beautiful city. Since it's the most beautiful city, attractive city, also have challenges. So mainly with respect to climate action, these and also a part of Smart City initiative. Few initiatives has been taken, and as recently they have given like 4-star we have achieved, but still long way to go. So how we have achieved this 4-star? So this has all started with the state government's national climate action plan 2012. Then same national plan has been adopted at the state level. So the guidelines was given to all the corporations. When the smart city was also started, some smart city initiatives were detailed to improve the environmental quality. So mainly, so we have smart poles installed across the city to monitor air quality. So then we started green cover, so green belts development, so median plantation and also parks, open parks greening projects we have started. So then we started the utility of e-vehicles and also solar plants. Say after 40 megawatt solar energy consumption for our corporation, so around 6.1 megawatt is being supplemented through solar plants, both floating solar plants and also rooftop solar plants. So this is how we started using the green energy, and also of late we started realizing the resilience. So we wanted to make our city climate resilient. For that we need to adapt the climate resilient program. So under climate resilient program, we started climate resilience unit. So this unit mainly works with 4 heads. So climate action, environment, climate, disaster planning, and also human resource development. For this, so we are using the inputs from the national urban development ministry, then the Stockholm International Water Institute. So we are using the city water resilience plan adapted from the Stockholm Water International Institute. So these are all the activities we have taken up. Along with this, the state government has started Navaratna Program. So under this program, cutting across the 9 themes covering education, agriculture, then welfare, and also water and environment. So on. So these efforts are also helping us to meet the sustainable development goals. That is goal number 11. That is climate action. Sorry, sustainable cities. Then goal number 13. That is climate action. So both state government and also city administrative initiatives are helping us with the support of the people and also public representatives there to see that the city should become sustainable and resilience. In this, the participation of all the stakeholders, starting from NGOs, then national and international organizations, then the officials, departments like horticulture, agriculture, then city planning. So the role of all these departments are very crucial, and we are yet to go a long way. So what I can say is that we have started this, and we have a long way to go with the support of all the institutions and agencies, organizations, both at national and international level. So I'm sure that Visakhapatnam will certainly achieve the status of resilient city, both in water and environment. Thank you.
हेलो, मेरा नाम हिमाली बोगावाला, मेयर सूरत। सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि आप सबको हमारा ये लोगो दिख रहा है। ये लोगो का मतलब है आई सपोर्ट क्लाइमेट। अगर आप भी करते हो तो पहले इसे लगा लीजिए। थैंक यू। अब हम बात करेंगे सूरत शहर की। तो हमने इससे पहले इंटरनेशनल मेयर के साथ बात की कि उन लोगों ने अपने देश में, अपने शहर में क्या किया है। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि उन लोगों ने जो बात बताई है ना, वो हमारे सूरत शहर ने ऑलरेडी कर ली है। तो इस मेरे सूरत शहर के लिए मुझे बहुत प्राउड है। खास करके हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने 2070 तक जीरो नेट कार्बन का एक प्रयोजन किया है, और वो भी सूरत शहर देश में सबसे पहला ऐसा सिटी है जिसने अपना रोड मैप ऑलरेडी तैयार कर दिया है, और उस दिशा में सूरत शहर आगे बढ़ रहा है। और वो भी हम आपको माई सूरत, माई एसएमसी के माध्यम से आप उस हमारे रोड मैप की प्रिंट आप देख सकते हो। आप सबको मैं वो देखने के लिए भी आमंत्रित करती हूँ। खास करके सूरत शहर में क्लाइमेट चेंज की अगर बात करें तो सूरत बायोडाइवर्सिटी पार्क के माध्यम से ग्रीन कवर परसेंटेज 10 to 12 हमने ज़्यादा कर लिया है, और उससे भी हम आगे बढ़ सकते हैं। और साथ साथ सूरत शहर में ऑक्सीजन पार्क भी बने हुए हैं जो शायद और किसी सिटी में नहीं है। एलईडी स्ट्रीट के माध्यम से हम एनर्जी एफिशिएंट 83% है, वो हम 100% करने जा रहे हैं ड्यू टू सूरत म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन, और साथ मेरे सभी सूरती जनों जो इस सब बातों के लिए बहुत अवेयर है, और उसके माध्यम से हम आगे बढ़ेंगे। एयर क्वालिटी मॉनिटरिंग भी हमारे सूरत शहर में ऑलरेडी हमने पूरे सूरत शहर में 2 जगह पर उसके प्लांट लगा दिए हैं, और आगे और 2 पर हम वो आगे प्लान करने के लिए जा रहे हैं। सोलर प्लांट में भी पूरे देश में 3.60% पार्टनर हम सूरत है, कि जब पूरे देश में 100 सोलर प्लांट लगते हैं तो उसमें से 3 हमारे सूरत शहर के हैं, और उस दिशा में भी सूरत शहर आगे बढ़ रहा है। ई व्हीकल जो हमारे देश में सूरत शहर, वो भी आप देख रहे हो कि अभी जब 2 दिन से यहाँ पर अलग अलग राज्य के लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं, और ई व्हीकल भी हमारा सूरत शहर 2 व्हील हो या 4 व्हीलर हो, वो भी हमारे सूरत में सबसे लोग आगे बढ़े हैं, और सबसे ज़्यादा बिक्री उस ई व्हीकल की भी हो रही है। और धीरे धीरे करके सूरत म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन में जितने भी व्हीकल्स है वो भी हम ई व्हीकल करने जा रहे हैं, ताकि हम सूरत शहर को और भी अच्छी तरह से आगाज कर सके। खास करके और सूरत म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन में जिन लोगों ने ई व्हीकल खरीद किया है उनको टैक्स में भी हम फ्री कर रहे हैं, ताकि लोगों को और भी उसके माध्यम से ई व्हीकल खरीदने की एक प्रोत्साहन मिले। सबसे ज़्यादा हमारे लिए गौरव की बात है कि रीयूज वाटर, जैसे ड्रेनेज का गंदा पानी आता है, इसे सूरत म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन रीयूज करके उसकी इनकम कर रही है, और वो रीयूज पानी हम इंडस्ट्रीज को दे रहे हैं, और उसके माध्यम से हम लोग 250 करोड़ की हम लोग इनकम एसएमसी को प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं। ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है। और जैसे हम गार्डनिंग में भी अगर प्लांटेशन को भी पानी डालना है तो वो भी हम ये रीयूज के माध्यम से वाटर वेस्ट को हम रीयूज कर सकते हैं, और आगे भी 100% हम लोग जो गंदा गटर का ड्रेनेज का जो पानी है उसे रीयूज करके 100% हम उसमें से भी इनकम बनाएंगे। और सुरती तो सब जानते हैं कि कहाँ से कमाना है और कहाँ से घूमना है, और ये हमारी एक सुरतियों की एक पहचान है। और सूरत म्युनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन को भी हम उस दिशा में आगे ले जाएंगे। अगर बात करेंगे आगे के प्लानिंग की, तो उसके माध्यम से भी जो तापी शुद्धिकरण का जो प्रोजेक्ट है, तो उसके माध्यम से हम तापी नदी जो एक सूरत की हमारी तापी मैया के नाम से जो हमारा सूरत शहर बसा हुआ है, तो उसको भी हम तापी शुद्धिकरण के माध्यम से घर घर तक 24x7 के माध्यम से घर घर तक पानी पहुंचाने के लिए भी सूरत शहर कटिबद्ध हो चुका है। और बहुत थोड़े कम वक्त में हम वो योजना भी अपनी पार करने जाएंगे। सॉलिड वेस्ट प्रोसेसिंग की बात करेंगे तो उसमें भी 1200 से 1500 टन सॉलिड वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट का प्लानिंग सूरत शहर ने कर लिया है, और बहुत ही कम समय में उसे भी हम प्लानिंग करके आगे बढ़ाने के लिए दिशा में हम आगे बढ़ते हैं। और खास करके आज हमारे लिए सबसे बहुत गर्व की बात है कि इस क्लाइमेट स्मार्ट सिटी असेसमेंट फ्रेमवर्क में सूरत शहर को फर्स्ट नंबर मिला है पूरे देश में। सूरत शहर क्लाइमेट स्मार्ट सिटी असेसमेंट में रैंकिंग में सूरत शहर का फर्स्ट नंबर आया है। और ये सब मैं अपने पूरी सूरत शहर की जनता को थैंक्स कहना चाहूंगी। और खास करके बीआरटीएस और सिटी बस के माध्यम से सूरत शहर ने 100% एरिया कवर कर लिया है कि यहाँ से आप कहीं भी जाना चाहोगे तो 15 मिनट में सूरत शहर के एक पॉइंट से लेके दूसरे पॉइंट तक आप आसानी से पहुंच सकते हो। और वो भी हमारे यहाँ ई व्हीकल बस है, आप एक बार कभी उसमें बैठना। हमारे 300 बस हमने गवर्नमेंट से हमने मंजूरी ले ली है, और अभी 50 से ज्यादा बस हमारी सिटी में घूम रही है। और फिर इस माध्यम से सूरत शहर विश्व के फलक पर एक अलग से अपनी पहचान बनाएगा, ये मुझे पूरा ट्रस्ट है, पूरा विश्वास है। थैंक यू फॉर माय एसएमसी, ऑल माय एसएमसी, सभी मेरे साथ जो एसएमसी के कर्मचारी है, कमिश्नर है और हमारे सभी पदाधिकारी हैं, हम सब साथ मिलकर सूरत को क्लाइमेट सिटी में और आगे ले जाएंगे, ये मुझे पूरा विश्वास है। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Namaste. I am Nayana Bhagyalakshmi in Vijayawada, Mayor. My city, not a smart city. అయినా మాకు 4-star రేటింగ్ వచ్చినందుకు చాలా హ్యాపీగా ఉంది. మై సిటీ CLAP program, Clean Andhra Pradesh program, Honorable Chief Minister YS Jagan Mohan Reddy garu prestigious program ga దీన్ని ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో టేకప్ చేయటం జరుగుతుంది. అట్లాగే ఎనర్జీ గ్రీన్ బిల్డింగ్, ఎల్ఈడి లైట్స్ 50% చేయటం జరుగుతుంది విజయవాడ సిటీలో. renewable energy 12,000 units per month, net metering stadium roofs and school buildings and office buildings. And CNG autos and geotagging and employees ki electrical vehicles air pollution ki విజయవాడ సిటీలో వాడటం జరుగుతుంది. ఎయిర్ క్వాలిటీ, సిటీ ప్లానింగ్, గ్రీనరీ,
Just to reiterate, Ma'am also wanted to tell that Surat is not a part of Smart City Mission, but Vijayawada is not a part of Smart City Mission. But although it has gone 4-star rating in the Climate Smart Cities Assessment Framework, and there are various other initiatives that the city had taken. The CLAP program, that's the Clean Air Action for Andhra Pradesh. And they have also installed many of the renewable energy units in their schools and offices. And CNG and autos geotagging has been done. And also there's a huge initiatives that they have done for LEDs and renewable energy in the city.
City planning and greenery, biodiversity, and CPCB, Central Pollutions Board norms prakaram 15th Finance Commissions grant lo kuda mem 10 crores to greenery development, Singinagar lo 10 crores to biodiversity and park 3 acres లో బయోడైవర్సిటీ పార్క్ ని కూడా డెవలప్ చేయటం జరుగుతుంది.
There's various initiatives done for urban planning and biodiversity, and there's a huge amount of biodiversity parks that has been developed in the city.
Continuous air quality special CAS 15th Finance Commission 6 crores air pollution and monitoring. Amrut funding 24/7 water supply and that's where also water sewage water treat చేస్తాం. STP plants sewage water treatment, energy development and air pollution కి కావాల్సిన చర్యలన్నీ విజయవాడ నగరంలో మేము చేపట్టడం జరుగుతుంది. కానీ మాది స్మార్ట్ సిటీ కాకపోయినా సరే అన్ని రకాలుగా మేము డెవలప్ చేయటానికి మేము విజయవాడ నగరంలో అన్ని రకాల చర్యలు తీసుకుంటున్నాం. మా సిటీ 65 కిలోమీటర్స్ మాత్రమే, కానీ సిటీ పాపులేషన్ 15 lakhs పాపులేషన్ ఉంది. 15 lakhs పాపులేషన్, సిటీ 65 కిలోమీటర్స్. కానీ సిటీ మధ్యలో నుంచి మాకు రైల్వే ట్రాక్స్ కానీ కెనాల్స్ కానీ ఉంటాయి. దానివల్ల పాపులేషన్ ఎక్కువగా ఉన్నా సరే డెవలప్మెంట్కి మాకు ఎక్కువ శాతం మాకు పాసిబుల్ ఉండదు. అయినా కానీ మేము మాది స్మార్ట్ సిటీ కాకపోయినా సరే మాకు లాస్ట్ స్వచ్ఛ సర్వేక్షణలో కూడా 3rd ర్యాంక్ రావటం జరిగింది. అట్లానే ఇప్పుడు క్లైమేట్ స్మార్ట్ సిటీలో కూడా 4 స్టార్ రేటింగ్ రావటం జరిగింది. మై సిటీ, మా విఎంసి ఎంప్లాయీస్ and commissioner and all HODs, thank you to all employees, all HODs, thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Swapnil, Municipal Commissioner, Vijayawada. So as Madam has already told, we are not a smart city, but we are smart enough to get the 4-star rating. So talking about Vijayawada, Vijayawada is one of the most densely populated cities. Not only it is the most densely populated cities, but it has, as Madam has told, lot of railway lines, as in it is one of the important junction in the southern part of the country. Not only railway lines, it has 3 major canals one major drainage canal which is crisscrossing the city. Other than that, it is also has the Krishna River, and the city is a river-based city. It leaves very, very less space for development, particularly when it comes to the green belt development. So, few years back, we fared very, very poorly on the greenery aspect. So we started taking up the maintenance of and development of green belts along the canals. We started with canals. We started with the unused portion of the railway lines. We started with encroachment removal along the Krishna River bank. And now we have sufficient amount of green spaces available, the breathing spaces available within the city. But yes, we have to go, we have a long journey to go ahead. Other than that, the medians and the junction improvement has also been taken up by the Vijayawada Municipal Corporation. As sir has told, Vizag Municipal Commissioner Lakshmija sir has told, the major impetus was given by state government for us to move towards a sustainable city. In fact, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, is one of the main priority which is taken as a review point during the meetings. So accordingly, each and every street light, not only in Vijayawada Municipal Corporation, but across the state, each and every street light has been converted into LED. So that has given us a big impact. Our electricity units, as in consumption, has reduced by 50%, and that has also resulted in saving of the cost which we do on the energy conservation is also increased in that. Other than that, Vijayawada has started implementing solar plants. We are quite new to this thing, because again the lack of land spaces which we are having. But then we have intensively started taking up the solar plant development on the government buildings, stadiums. Then there is also a plan of acquiring land outside Vijayawada and then having a plant of at least 40 megawatt, which would completely power the energy consumption of Vijayawada. Other than that, going towards energy efficiency and as well as the renewable source of energy, we were the first municipal corporation in the entire state which started the waste collection from door to door through CNG vehicles. And seeing the success in Vijayawada, the same was implemented in other parts of the state. Not only that, we are having a biomethanization plant using which one entire STP, 20 MLD STP is run just out of that biomethanization plant. So we are quite, I would say, efficient when it comes to the conservation of energy and usage of energy. Other than that, solid waste management, each and every ton of waste, each and every kg of waste is being scientifically processed. Not only it is being processed, but also revenue generation is being done through the solid waste management practices. Recently, just few months back, we are also converting the solid waste into energy through a waste to energy plant. So electricity is being generated through the plant. It is being built by Jindal, and the solid waste is being sent to the waste to energy plant. Other than that, on the liquid waste management side, Vijayawada Municipal Corporation treats each and every liter of the sewage, whether it is sewage or whether it is sewage. So a plant to the tune of 150 MLD, they run every day. The water is treated and then only it is let out to the either the major drains or to the Krishna River. Other than that, some major initiatives which were taken by the corporation are also proposed are Vijayawada is a temple city. So there are major temples in the city. Kanakadurga is one of the example. There is lot of 14 population and there is lot of flower waste generation. So going back to the basics, We have started industries as in processing plants wherein SHG members, they produce as in the incense sticks, and from that various byproducts are being done. It is in proposal stage. The pilot has already been done, and then we are planning to launch it full-fledgedly in the coming months. Other than that, we are going for a resurvey. So it is not only Vijayawada Municipal Corporation's initiative, it is initiative of the state government. So the entire, each and every pocket of the land will be resurveyed with respect to the master plan and also with respect to the land use. So the resurvey will be done through the total station survey and also a ground truthing of the each and every land parcel will be done through a drone image. Through that, we will be increasing the green cover. That is one point, and also we will be trying to, as in, we will be removing the encroachments which are coming in the buffer zone. Not only that, but which are coming in the major, which are as a hindrance to the development of the city. We are
sorry to
planning
interrupt,
to,
but if you can just
yes,
wrap
yes,
it
we
up.
are planning to transit to the non-motorized transport. Cycling is a challenge, as I have told. Each and every parcel of land is occupied in Vijayawada, it being the a densely populated city. Other than that, as Madam has told, Vijayawada Municipal Corporation through 15 Finance Grant, we have allocated 62 crores this year in order to reduce the particulate matter, particularly PM10 and PM2.5. We are going for end-to-end roads, particularly with the paver blocks. We are increasing the greenery. The more and more machinery are being procured for sweeping. Other than that, fountains. Other than that, greenery development, better air quality monitoring mechanisms, machines are being taken up, intelligent traffic systems, so that the air pollution created due to traffic is reduced at the traffic signals. And we are also funding, yes ma'am, and we are also funding 3 charging stations. So in next 1 year, 3 charging stations, electric charging stations will be coming up, which will definitely move Vijayawada Municipal Corporation vehicle movement from diesel and petrol based to electricity based. So that is it. But yes, there are many challenges, and there is a long way to go for Vijayawada, which will definitely we will be taking up in the coming years. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, I'm Aditi Garg. I was the CEO of Indore earlier. As the co-panelists have already spoken about city-level initiatives that can be undertaken, I just want to share in brief the experience that Indore has had. So 10-15 years ago, Indore was like any other tier 2 city of India. It used to be crowded, chock-a-block, dusty, traffic congestion, and the quality of living perhaps was not as could be expected. But over a period of time, a series of projects and investments have been undertaken in order to improve the quality of life and to make the city not only survivable but at the same time livable. Many of the initiatives that have been undertaken by other cities have also been done in Indore, so I don't want to repeat the list ad infinitum, but I do want to make the point that 2 very clear things Indore has done. One is the city level initiative, which is undertaking city specific projects which overall improve the health and life of the city. For example, one very extensive project that has been undertaken by the Indore Municipal Corporation is the River Rejuvenation project, and that is the entire cleaning, desaltification, as well as widening of the river and beautification project along the riverside that has given new life. It has breathed new life into the river as well as the communities who were living on the side of the river. So that is one of the projects that has been key to bringing back Indore along the river life. The other project that Indore has taken is, of course, around sanitation and cleaning up the waste. There are very many zero waste projects that have been undertaken, as well as the management of the entire flow chart of waste generation to waste disposal that has been undertaken in order that it is not only energy efficient but at the same time sustainable and carbon neutral. So that is one of the other initiatives. But other than the fact that Indore has undertaken many of these similar initiatives, there is something that Indore has also done, which was touched upon earlier, which is undertaking a roadmap towards making the city climate smart. Ultimately, what is the climate smart initiative? It is thinking of city local initiatives. It is thinking at the local level what can be undertaken and how to go about incorporating investments from municipal corporations or smart cities that can help increase the sustainability of a city. So Indore has done that quite extensively. And two very small things that I want to share with you, which perhaps have not been done in other cities. One is the tree census that has been undertaken in Indore. It is practically the counting, classification, identification of every tree that exists in Indore. That gives us an idea of where plantation is required to be done, because cities undertake plantations in massive numbers and often it is not planned. So we wanted to have a planned approach towards development, plantation and zoning, and hence that was quite useful for us. And the second, of course, is the carbon credit mechanism, by which we have embarked on a journey where we want to ensure that in the future carbon neutral initiatives continue to be made in Indore, and hence the carbon credit trading mechanism which Indore undertook has helped us realize that dream into a proper roadmap, and it has laid for us a clear milestone map of what we need to do, what investments we need to make in order to keep making the city green, clean and sustainable. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to thank everyone as well, because the kind of work that's being done in cities, you can think as, okay, it's water supply, it's wastewater, but what's important to understand is most of these address the mitigation and the adaptation requirements of climate change. So be it shifting to e-vehicles or leveraging the solar energy, increasing the non-motorized transport, and a lot of work in solid-based management, reusing wastewater, recycling wastewater, biodiversity, increasing the green cover. I think these are the themes across in all the cities that we're hearing from. If I can just highlight a few things that came up from each of the cities. I think in Pune, sir, you mentioned a list of all the activities that's happening, but what stood out was 40 kilometers of non-motorized transport connectivity that would help citizens to shift to pedestrian and cycle-friendly neighborhoods. And in Visakhapatnam, sir, you mentioned about climate resilience unit and about multi-stakeholder engagement and interdepartmental sort of coordination to take up climate actions. So I think this is something, a good takeaway from that city. And Ma'am Surat, I think your emphasis was on citizen engagement and the active participations from the residents as well for their cities and what is it that they want to do. I think the action needs to happen across, and the participations from the citizens is also very, very important. I think in Vijayawada, I heard a lot of emphasis on air quality and what needs to be done around that, because and the other challenge was of the space constraint and how well are dealing with that for increasing the green cover and even the solar energy. So that was also a good takeaway. And from Indore, ma'am, you highlighted the other key thing, which is of the health and quality of people, and keeping that as the center and working towards that, looking at the investments and focusing on sustainable actions is what you emphasize a lot more on, and the roadmap focusing on all of these aspects. So I think I would like to wrap up this session because we're holding the audience from lunch. So if you all have any questions, I would probably request you all to maybe talk to our dignitaries during the lunch. And I'd like to thank everyone once again. Thank you.